Slavery and trafficking. The forms of slavery. There's traditional slavery, such as chattel slave, which is bought, sold, and traded. According to new slavery, it's forced labor or marriage, their bonded labor and or trafficking, restrictions, mental or physical threat, individuals of enterprises, marginalized groups. That's $150 billion a year. Comparison, in 1850, you can buy a slave for $15,000. There was an estimated $40,000 in 2015. But as of 2015, you can pay $90 for a human slave. 21 to 36 million people are enslaved. 20% of them are younger than 18. 78% are forced labor slavery, which are children soldiers. 22% of them are sex slaves. The most prevalent is more than 14 million slaves in India. As a percentage of the population, that's 4%. In the United States, 60,000 slaves. Trafficking versus smuggling. Smuggling is the pro-recruitment or transfer of profit. Trafficking is the recruitment, harboring, transportation, provision, or obtaining of a person for labor or services, which is the act. Through the use of the force, fraud, or coercion is the means, and for the purpose of subjection and involuntary servitude, peonage, debt, bondage, or slavery is the purpose, according to the Trafficking Victims Protection Act of 2000. The key differences between trafficking and smuggling is smuggling is a crime across the border. Trafficking is a crime against a person. Population, migration, corruption, and discrimination. Statistics. There are 600 to 800,000 people trafficked a year worldwide. 18 to 20,000 are in the U.S. 80% are female, 50% are children, and another one is disabilities. Lucrative versus narcotics and arms. One is bought and sold, but a person can be used again and again. A physical bondage is not needed because of Stockholm Syndrome, which happens when someone who has been enslaved comes to love and be loyal to the trafficker. Branding, blackmail, and children's vulnerability. What factors contribute to the problem? Poverty, inequality, lack of education, and lack of opportunity. What is needed to combat the problem are the 3 P's, which are prosecution, protection, and prevention. Prosecution is making sure there are strong laws. Protection could be referred to as the 3 R's, and prevention is raising awareness. 3 R's are rescue, removal, and reintegration. The Palermo Protocol of 2000 is the protocol to prevent, suppress, and punish trafficking in persons, especially women and children. 166 signatories, which means 166 countries signed and ratified. 2000, Trafficking Victims Protection Act, TVPA, is a federal law that amplifies emphasis of the Palermo in the U.S. Trafficking in persons is a TIP report. Tier 1 are countries that are fully compliant with Palermo, which would be considered Grade A. Grade B would be Tier 2, which is improving, but there's still a problem. Grade C would be Tier 2 watch list, which are countries that are doing well, say they're trying, and problems getting worse. And if they're on this list for more than a couple years, they'll immediately be bumped to Tier 3. Tier 3 are countries that are not in compliance or not a signatory. U.S. could be considered Tier 1. What's the best way to deal with this problem? Reformist and transformative approaches. Reformist is small steps, and transformative is big changes and cultural changes.